We are way too easily amused.
Yes. Well, we're pretty excited that we got this working. Let's be honest. um, okay, so tonight we are discussing Windwitch by Susan Dennard. It is the second in the Witchlands series. And it basically picks up pretty much right where the first book left off.
Isn't it like 2 weeks?
Yeah. So it I need to get a new sit-up pillow, like really badly. I haven't used mine since like the great head lice thing of 2014.
I still have I have Windwitch for the next 18 hours.
You have Windwitch for the next 18 hours? Okay, cool. I actually remembered not to return mine.
Well, it's an ebook. It returns itself.
Right. But the last time I dropped mine off and picked up Windwitch before we did our discussion. Okay, so in the very beginning of this, there is an assassination attempt on one of my favorite characters, Merrick.
He is my favorite character.
I
like him a little bit less in this book, but overall, he is my favorite character.
Why do you like him a little bit less? Just because of his whole vengeance thing, or
yeah, like that whole one-track mind all of a sudden that he has, or he probably had it before and just didn't notice. But it's like he is completely focused in this one direction. Also, he
doesn't even like. So he automatically assumes that the assassin was sent by his sister.
Yes.
And he never questions that knowledge, really, until like near the end.
Yeah, it's not that he really questions he like never really gets around to questioning it. It kind of smacks him in the face that it wasn't Vivian.
Yeah. So he's working with Cam, who is a character who was born female and is living as a boy. And it takes him the entire book to actually start trying to think of Cam as a he.
Yeah.
Which really confused me while I was reading it because I couldn't figure out if the character was actually supposed to be trans or not.
Because we never get his POV.
Yes. We just hear Merrick calling Cam boy when talking to Cam, but then
in his inner dialogue calling Cam, calling Cam he and her, and yeah.
Yeah. So it ends up being addressed in the course of the story, and Merrick starts learning.
We like characters that learn things.
Yes, like it's okay for a character to have issues. Understanding stuff if they're willing to learn how to do, like, how to be better. So like it ends off the series with him going with Amp and Ryber to try and save himself and possibly even Cullen, who is still alive. Yeah, alive. So we discussed last book discussion about the cleaved, and Cullen cleaved at the end of the first book.
Yes,
but apparently, somehow, I believe he's being controlled by the Raider King, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite understanding how these cleaved work, because they're not like, the ones that the Weaver Witch had. What's her name?
Esme, yeah.
These are not like the ones that Esme has, where they're like zombies for her. He talks and remembers things and does things of his own will.
Right. So
he's just evil now.
Merrick and Cullen are both basically half cleaved. Like they're in them, like they're sort of cleaved, but not fully. And somehow Cullen's evil. He thinks he's the Fury, which was really weird because the entire book, Merrick thought he was the Fury.
Merrick did well. Okay, Merrick started not the entire book. Merrick started at first just letting himself be called the Fury to strike fear in the hearts of everyone, and then he saw himself in the mirror. It's like, oh, okay, I see it now.
But his whole thing was he was trying to get revenge on. He was trying to prove that Vivia was behind the assassination attempt, and then get revenge on her. Meanwhile, for the first time, we get to see from Vivia's point of view, which took her from being a character we hated to being a character I at least kind of loved.
See, I don't think I ever hated him. I just didn't like her, but it wasn't like, okay, I hate Edwin.
I hated her for the way she treated Merrick in book 1.
Well, yeah. But I mean, so for me with characters, I don't normally hate a character unless the character is boring, and Edwin's boring.
I don't find him boring.
Well, I don't care. He's boring.
And apparently a lot of people agree with me because he's the only one with the hashtag.
I don't care.
So, Edwin is a blood witch, and he's hunting down Safi to take to his father, who's the Raider King, who apparently is planning on invading the Witchlands. And he keeps getting off on various tangents every book.
Oh my god. Not even that. It's like almost every time he has a chapter, it's a new tangent.
So first he's trying to hunt down his money that he earned in the first book that got stolen at the very end of the first book, right?
Yes.
He gets sent by Corland, who is after Isolde, to hunt down Isolde.
And also like friends with his father.
Yeah, like what's that connection there? Like is he a Puritan priest or is he Nomazi? Like what's going on there?
Well, from even in the first book, he was Nomazi in league with the purists.
It just,
which is really weird since he has magic.
Yeah, like he's so.
Although since he's a void witch, they might not, acknowledge that he exists as a witch, since they don't believe in void magic.
Right. Which is hilarious because we now have at least 4 void witches.
Yeah.
So he starts hunting down Isolde. He finds her, finds some of his money, and agrees to help her find Safi if she'll tell him where the rest of his money is. Even though she's not the one who stole his money.
I don't think he even knows that, though.
Well, he knows it's the glamour witch that he can't track, which I'm pretty sure might just be the uncle.
I think it's no, it can't be Matthew. So I'm gonna say it can't be Matthew.
Based on what we know about the Hellbards, I'll bet you anything when he smells him is because he took off his noose.
That could be.
And he's doing it to mess with him. Something awful.
Either that or else he needs magic or something.
That too, possibly. So he's trying to hunt down his money because he needs to take it to his father. Why his father needs money, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he's a king. I mean, I guess they can always use more money, especially if they're planning an invasion.
Is he taking the money to his father?
I don't know exactly.
I think he just likes money, and that's his it's his money, and he's taking Safi to his father. He just happens to like money, and he's like, okay,
But I
I want
thought
more
he was
money.
supposed to give the money to Corlant to send to his father. And the whole being sent to find Isolde was because he didn't have the money.
Oh, I think Corlant just wants Isolde.
So him and Isolde team up for a little bit, and then they get attacked by pirates like 5 times. Like, you seriously, like, every time you turned around, they were in another fight with the pirates.
With like different pirates.
But they were the same pirates because it was all with the Fire Witch.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Safi's been Safi and the Empress of Marstock have been taken captive by Hellbards to be taken back to the
Katara, is that one?
Emperor of Kartora. Why he wants the Empress of Marstock, I don't know. I wouldn't think the Hellbards have any jurisdiction over her. Since, you know, they're tasked with working for the Emperor of a different country.
I'm sure that goes against the truth somehow. Well, take that back. It probably just skirts around the truth.
I'm pretty sure the truce has already been broken. I think they had to re-sign it, and they didn't because of the whole Safi disappearing thing.
It's not that it hadn't broken yet when Safi disappeared. It was on the verge of breaking. It was probably a few months before, you know,
right.
Not breaking, but it was like a few months before it expired. But because when they were hunting for Safi out, when the Marstakis were hunting Safi out while she was on the boat with Merrick, they couldn't go to land because that was against the truth.
Right. So I still think being taken captive by the Hellbards probably would violate the truce.
It probably skirts around they're still skirting around the truth, so it probably skirts around the truth.
Maybe because Hellbards magic doesn't affect them, they don't have to worry about it. I don't know. So it's hilarious because they end up finding, like, my favorite scene in this book was when Edwin takes out a bunch of the pirates. He ends up finding this little girl who is being taken by the pirates, who are also slavers, to be sent to his father. And it kind of like jolts him into, what's my father doing? Why is my father working with slavers? And kind of hints at he was probably trafficked at some point, and his father rescued him and supposedly promised him that he wouldn't work with slavers or something, but obviously is breaking that promise. Like, that's just what I picked up from the few moments that it talked about, like, why would my father be working with these people?
I'm notoriously bad at picking up things.
Yes, because I told her in book 1 that Isolde and Edwin were going to get together.
We're not talking about that. That's still not happening.
So because the little girl is so traumatized she can't talk.
She probably just doesn't want to.
It's possible she doesn't want to, but
because I mean, after being with them for a while, you would think she would start talking, and she never gets around to it. I think she's just.
You'd think after, you know, being saved, she'd at least talk to Edwin because she obviously trusts him more than anybody else, and she doesn't say a word.
Because she's with them for for at least a couple days. I think it was like over a week.
They save her multiple times. Like, trust should be very well built up there for her to talk if she's able to.
Especially because they're Nomatsi.
Right. Because she's a little Nomatsi girl. And they start calling her Owl, which is a reference to their goddess is a moon goddess, and owl is her sister, or like just a lesser deity that's like there and kind of like they basically say she's practically the depiction of the owl. So they keep calling her Little Owl, and because she can't tell them her name, you'd think she'd at least be able to tell them that. But it was my favorite scene because it started showing him as like a real person instead of just this, because he like becomes very tender with her.
Although he still seems pretty emotionless. I mean, he has tenderness, but no emotion to go with the tenderness.
Well, I'm wondering if that has something to do with the fact that Isolde can't see his threads, if he actually lacks a lot of emotion. Perhaps because of some sort of trauma, or who knows. Maybe we'll find out in Bloodwitch, which is coming out in January, by the way. So we need to keep that in mind when it gets to January.
Okay. Write it down.
I know you're not looking forward to it. So, Safi spends pretty much the entire book with the Hellbards, learning more about them and what's going on with them, how the Hellbards work, basically making friends with them too. Like, even though she's their captive, there's almost some sort of maybe a little bit of Stockholm syndrome there, if you ask me. Because she sympathizes, like, I get it, she sympathizes with Caden and Xander, and I'm blanking on the third one.
That's with an L.
What?
That's with an L.
Yeah.
You look it up.
That's an Edwin chapter. Red Sails, Safi. Bannis is the queen. It is the Empress. Caden. Lev.
Okay.
And I mean, I think they actually like her, but I don't entirely understand why she she's agreed to go back to Marstock with the Empress by the end, because they managed to save the Hellbards enough to get them to agree to take them back, or at least take the Empress back. And Safi says she'll go with them, but the Hellbards are going with her, because if they go back to the Emperor without her, they'll die.
And no one said they couldn't take the long way back to Kartora.
This is true. The Emperor is basically just kind of a dick. But they I don't know what exactly she has planned with the Hellbards. I'm hoping something good. Like, I kind of feel bad for them. So we found out in this book that the Hellbards are witches who were unregistered inside of Kartora. And when they got found out, the Emperor somehow he has some way of stealing their magic. And they'll die if they're not wearing this necklace that they call their noose. And it basically blocks magic from working on them and keeps them under his control. So I'm hoping she's planning something to be able to free them, because that would be kind of cool.
This is Safi. She doesn't do planning very well.
No, she doesn't.
I think right now she feels bad for them, and she's going with them because she feels bad for them, doesn't want anything to happen to them.
That seems likely to me.
And now that's not to say she won't find a way to save them,
right.
but it will happen in the spur of the moment. And something comes up and she says, okay, I can use this.
I have a question for you.
See?
Edwin was commenting on the fact that he feels like the water well was only half awoken, right?
Yes.
Like only half the Carwen was there?
Yes.
Do you think he was saying that to just hurt Isolde? I mean, I know he didn't believe she was part of the Carwen, but is it possible Isolde's Carwen and Safi's not?
That's possible. It could be. Now here I thought about that too. It could be that since it was just, revived or whatever,
it's taking time to wake up.
Yes, it's not fully awoken. It could be that he was in denial about the Carwen, and so even if it was at full strength, he would deny it because it's like there's no Carwen. Especially because at the time he thought that they were both ether witches,
right?
Which made so like he was very much spending that time rationalizing away the two of them being the Carwen.
Right. I was also wondering if maybe because Isolde had never actually used her real powers, if that might have something to do with it.
True story.
Because we find out in this book that our suspicions at the end of the last book were correct. Isolde is a Weaver witch. She actually cleaves somebody in the book.
That's so sad. She cleaves them. And then killed them.
Yes. But it also means she can talk to Safi. So she can dream with Safi's threads to be able to connect with her. Which we find out near the end of the book. I felt like this book did a lot to help explain some of the stuff we missed last time.
Yes.
Still have tons of questions.
And we probably have new ones floating around.
Probably, yeah.
Like, oh my God, what is going on with Al, and like the fact that she has like magic no one else has.
Yeah, she can somehow bind to like so there's certain beasts that are I don't want to say immortals, but they're the way that they are kind of reminds me of the immortals from Tortal, how they were gone for forever and now they're suddenly back and they're different than regular animals.
It's kind of like I kind of saw them more like mythical.
Right.
Except like, oh, you mean to tell me that these things are actually like, that would be like if we found a unicorn somewhere. Like,
well, that's how it was in the Immortals Quartet when like the Stormwings and the like
I need to go read that again.
Yes, you do. But they were gone for forever, and then suddenly because Ozorn opened up the borders between the gods' realm and ours, suddenly they were back. And it with the silver threads and stuff, it just really, really reminded me of the Immortals from Tortal. Like, because there were dragons and unicorns and man-eating horses and weird spider women creature things. But so the first time we get to see them are the sea foxes in Truthwitch. And in this one, what was it called? It was some sort of bat.
Yeah.
A mountain bat, which apparently is different than a regular bat.
It's like ginormous for one.
Well, yeah, I I know it's supposed to be super kind of scary, like it's supposed to be kind of scary, right? The only thing I could think of when they started describing it was, have you ever seen The Never-Ending Story?
It's the never-ending story.
The
Yes.
giant bat.
My
I
problem,
I loved the giant bat. That's the whole reason why I kind of want a pet bat. Is because of the giant bat in Never-Ending Story.
so my problem is all of the the bat videos that's been going around on Facebook, where it's like basically bats are like flying puppies.
They're really cute.
They're really not, but they're like.
I think they're adorable.
Well, I mean, clearly you have no taste.
There was one time when I was coming home from campus to East Quad, back when I lived in East Quad.
Okay.
And there was this tiny little brown bat like curled up in the corner of like the archway as I was going in. It was so cute. It was just sleeping there.
Just in case our viewers have not realized it, I'm the mean one in this duo. I will harass her on air in front of the entire internet. And then we will save it because, she won't take out me being mean.
Because I love you.
Including my meanness.
Yeah. So the entire time, so while Merrick's trying to figure out who killed him,
No. Well, he's trying to find proof that Vivian tried to kill him.
Vivia is also trying to find out who killed Merrick, which of course is our first hint that she wasn't the one who killed him.
Except she's not, devoting as much time as Merrick is. Like, she spread herself kind of thing.
Yeah, because she's trying to get her rightful crown. She's got people to feed. Her people are starving. She is just trying to figure out who the traitor is in their midst, because she's pretty sure that the assassin was hired by one of her visors.
She's trying to find
at least one of her visors.
City.
So
to find the secret city.
Got a ton going on.
Yeah.
And
trying to deal with her father,
who's sick and dying. And so at the start of the book, I hated her because of the way she treated Merrick. But from her first chapter, I kept sitting there being like, no, I don't want to like her. I don't want to like her.
She's like, she is clearly a feminist.
Oh, so feminist, because she's like, she goes on these internal tirades about how Merrick had it easier because he never had to prove anything to anybody. And it just really spoke to me constantly, never-endingly. And I mean, you don't have to like all feminists. I certainly don't like every person that's a feminist.
Some of them
but some of them aren't real feminists.
And some of them are just crazy.
Some of the really, really crazy ones are not real feminists.
That's true.
If you actively hate men, you are not a feminist. But she goes on these internal monologues about how tough it is to get respect, to get people to listen to her. I think she struggles with depression too, because she talks a lot about this internal emptiness that she's trying to avoid and ignore. She wants to feel like there's this big deal about her father's Nihar rage, and that Merrick had it and she doesn't. And she feels very empty without it. And I think her lashing out at Merrick both came from a place of being jealous of his ability to just do things and get people to love him easily, and from her own feelings of like hopelessness at certain points in time. She's also super gay. She's totally in love with her first mate, and she doesn't feel worthy. And like she spends the most of the book trying to do everything perfectly and right, and berating herself for the tiniest little failures that she does, even when she's doing so much that's important. Yes. And at the end of the book, she discovers Merrick's still alive, which is awesome because he's Merrick and we don't want him to die. And they save the capital city of their country when Cullen tries to destroy it with by destroying the dam.
Because Cullen happens to be a super powerful witch.
Yes. And who's ever yanking his chain right now made him attack the city. And Merrick and Bivia stand together, and other witches join them, and they end up saving the entire town from being flooded. And it was a super, super amazing moment.
And it's especially really special because at the time Levats was overcrowded.
Yeah, like because so New Brevnans are starving, their land's dying.
Their land is like dead.
And so they're not growing any crops. Vivia's resorted to piracy to try and get food in, and people are flocking to the city as refugees to petition the crown for help. So
they're flocking to the city for that, and then there's also a funeral happening.
Right, because they all think Merrick's dead.
Yeah.
So there's even more people coming for that reason. And she ends up they end up keeping Merrick's survival a secret, just in case, because they find out who the traitor is. And he died. But in case there's others that's working for the Raider King, they keep Merrick's survival a secret to try and find out some stuff, which hopefully we'll find out some things in Sight Witch. It's a prequel story following Ryber, and it's the main reason why we started this series, because Robin wanted to read the book with the girl with the braids.
Isn't she pretty?
She's very pretty. But
I'm sorry, sci-fi and fantasy books do not have Black people in it, and when they do, they don't often have braids. And
so yeah, Robin saw this cover back before the book came out, like when the cover first got announced, and she was like, "I want to read that." So when we started this, the Witchland series was high on our list to read for that reason. And we I'm pretty pleased with these books so far.
Yes.
I'm hoping Edwin gets a little bit more fleshed out over the course of the next couple of books.
I hope he develops a personality.
We'll hopefully be reading Blood Witch come either January or shortly thereafter, depending on what our book schedule is like at that point in time. Because we do, I at least would want to keep reading the series. I think Robin's kind of the same way. But in the meantime, since we don't want to just wait till January or February to read more books.
that would ever happen.
Well, no, I'm talking about ones we discuss on air.
Yes.
We'll be reading Sight Witch next. after that, we have 2 possibilities for our next book. My suggestion was the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which wouldn't take too long because it's only 2 books right now. Escaping Houdini is coming out soon, but it's not out yet. And Robin's was she wants to read Circe, but we decided we wouldn't read Circe without reading Song of Achilles first. I have a poll up on my Twitter. If you follow me on there, it's my handle's Writer Girl for Life with a U and the number 4.
Put it in the description box.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description box below. But so you can go on there and vote. I think I have the poll up for 3 days, so you can go and cast for up to for another couple of for the entire weekend basically, and then on Monday we'll see.
We'll see that A Song of Achilles has won.
Yeah, Song of Achilles has 1 vote right now.
No. And it has 1.
Yeah.
The vote, by Monday. I guess it'll be Monday. It will have 1.
If nobody else votes, yeah.
Oh, well, I just clearly have to go and find a way to block it then. And surprisingly, that vote is not me.
I know, right? Because last time we had 2 votes. I put the poll up before, and we got 2 votes, 1 for each. And the one for Song of Achilles was Robin. But yeah, so Sight Witch is a novella, so it's very skinny in comparison. It's like half the book, half the size. So it shouldn't take us too long, I don't think. So it'd probably be just another couple of weeks before we do another one of these. But I'm kind of bummed because my public library doesn't have the audiobook for this. And it's a full cast one.
Lo siento.
What?
I said lo siento.
There's different people for Ryber and Cullen, and it makes me sad.
I'm sorry, I'm not there to hug you or pat you on the head condescendingly.
Usually you pat me on the head.
I do that to a lot of people. Mostly because that's what happens when I've gone off the deep end. It's just.
And just for a random plug, people need to read My Plain Jane. I'm in the middle of it right now, and it's hysterical. So, yeah.
Unblessed.
That too. Read Unblessed by Kristen Goodwin. Even though her name's not Kristen Goodwin anymore.
It makes me happy. The book, not her name change. It makes me happy.
It's a really good book. Sadly, book 4 is not out yet.
I should go harass her.
I don't want to harass her right now because she's going through.
You don't have to. I will.
She's going through a lot, Robin.
And I'm supposed to stop harassing her.
What?
And that's supposed to stop me from harassing her.
Well, it's probably why she hasn't finished Dual Blast.
I don't care why.
As you can see, Robin's very mean.
God. Robin might be a bit of a narcissist. Just a bit.
When I show her screenshots from my phone, she gets excited if she sees her bubble from Facebook Messenger.
It's my
because that's Robin. But yeah, so that's what we'll be doing with our next couple of weeks. I could probably have it done by Monday if I only read that, but I got other stuff to read too. I started reading it. What's that?
I could probably finish it tomorrow.
I started reading, like I'm reading My Plain Jane. I started reading An Ember in the Ashes for the book club that I admin. And I'm going to be starting Cinder soon because a lot of people really like that.
Sad. Apparently, I only borrowed Six of Crows for a week, and it zipped back to the library. And there's now like every copy that my library systems have has been checked out, and there's like 10 holds on it.
I'm sorry. You should read the Grisha trilogy first.
I told you every book I wanted to read was checked out. I tried that too.
I don't know that.
Children of Blood and Bone, checked out.
And you really need to read that one.
Just say, man. I was not a happy camper this morning when I was looking for a book to read.
What other books did you try?
I don't remember. That was 9 o'clock this morning. That was 12 hours ago. I don't remember what happened 3 hours ago.
You were dancing.
Wait, what time is it? Yeah, I was.
Robin had a belly dance rehearsal, or
no, I danced.
You danced.
I danced.
So she had a show to do tonight, and that's why her awesome outfit is what it is.
I was about to say that's why my awesome outfit is awesome.
Exactly. Whereas I am not working tonight, so I have alcohol and pajamas on.
I have beignets.
You what?
I have beignets.
Why do you have to be like 3 states away?
It is not 3 states, it's 1 state.
Depending on what road you're coming in.
Fine. 2 states tops.
Just saying, you could go down to Ohio and go straight over.
That's like I said, that's 2 states.
That's right, you're in Indiana, not Illinois. I mixed up which one.
That's you're adding a whole extra hour and a half into the drive.
Because I want beignets.
Let's see, until there's probably somewhere there that sells beignets.
I don't know
where.
And they don't come with a robin.
Oh, well, yeah, no. I'm sorry, I am not for sale.
I didn't say for sale.
I'm about to say, sweetie, please do not inhale the alcohol. I don't know what alcohol would do to your lungs. Water alone is kind of bad for your lungs. I'm not sure what the alcohol will do.
But no, I don't want to buy a robin. I just want a robin to visit.
Didn't you just see Robin like a month ago?
Buying a robin would have very bad connotations.
Yeah, I already thought of those. Didn't you just see a robin like a month ago?
So what? I used to see a robin every day.
Dude, that was like 10 years ago.
I know.
You know we're old, right?
I know. Robin just turned 30.
My dad is getting old. So says my mother.
Isn't your mother older than your father?
No.
No?
But they're close. Like they're not, it's not like there's a giant gap. It's like 3 years.
Anyway, what rating would you give Windwitch?
Probably 4 out of 5. We're going out of 5, yes?
Yes, out of 5.
4.
Or
maybe 4.2.
4.2. I'd probably say mine would be like between 4 and 4.5. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
I am trying not to lower it because of all of the Edwin chapters.
Robin really hates Edwin.
I'm sorry.
Which cracks me up because
he lacks emotion.
He's so loved by the fandom, which just says so much about the people that like these books.
I don't care what everyone else says.
I'm not saying your point's not valid. It is. Like, he doesn't have a whole lot of emotion, and that should make him a very boring character.
It does make him a boring character.
But for some reason, he's still everyone's favorites. And I think that's from the bad boy thing.
I mean, dude, people like Tamlin.
Yeah, people still argue for Tamlin after all this time.
So clearly the universe does clearly fantasy readers are not necessarily the best judges of character.
True. At least Edwin's making like positive progression.
Yeah.
He's getting better. Unlike Tamlin.
It's really weird seeing him be nice without having any emotion behind it. It's like at no point does he really feel sorry for the little girl. He's just like, I'll help the little girl. Okay. I'm like, what the heck?
Which is why I'm wondering if there's some reason why he's incapable of emotion.
We'll find out in Bloodwitch. Hopefully by the time we're done with Bloodwitch, there will be no more Edwin questions. I'm secretly hoping there will be no more Edwin. I mean, it's okay for me to wish for the death of a fictional character, right? I mean, it's kind of bad for me to wish for the death of a real person, but can I at least wish for the death of a fictional character?
Yeah, I think so, because I really want a few fictional characters to be dead. Like the aforementioned Tamlin.
Okay, I'm Julie. We really need to stop this whole mind reading thing.
We really need to stop what?
This whole mind reading thing.
Yes. But it's not going to stop. But I think we may want to wrap this up.
Okay.
I am going to go get some reading done and maybe even start the Stargate movie, because Robin pointed out, well, she's been pointing out for several years now that my nerd, my nerdiness needs more nerdiness in the form of Stargate. And so she started talking about how she's on Stargate Atlantis and Jason Momoa's on there. And that was like, yeah, I probably have to watch this now because Jason Momoa. And she goes, well, you got to start with the first show. And so it'll take you a while to get to Atlantis with Momoa. You're moving.
Oh, no.
No, what? You are
I heard
breaking up really badly.
Anything?
We are having technical difficulties. I'm going to have to let you guys go, and we'll figure this out later. Because clearly Robin's trying to talk. Robin? Are you back? Are you back?
Yay!
Hey, look, it fixed itself. We didn't hear anything you said.
Oh. So, everything you said between Cloak and Dagger and Jason?
We just lost Robin. So, I'm going to go. Hello?
What just happened?
We just lost you.
Okay, then.
And I don't know, like, when did Cloak and Dagger come up?
Oh, that might have been the first time you couldn't hear me then. I told you, I was asking what did I tell you to watch, and I'm like, oh, you could either start Stargate or that show I told you to watch. I couldn't remember what it was. I said Cloak and Dagger. And then I didn't hear anything from you until you said Jason Momoa.
I was just explaining how my nerd knowledge is severely lacking in not having Stargate in there. And you told me that I had to start with the movie.
Yes, you do need to start with the movie.
So I'm going back to 1994.
I mean, that's not okay. See, here's the thing though. Stargate SG-1 starts in like 97.
Right. So flashback.
And then there's 10 years of Stargate SG-1.
But yeah, so we heard a little bit like you were really breaking up for a minute there.
I was saying we should probably end this because I have no sound.
Yeah. Because something, I don't know if my computer was overheating or what.
Oh, no, it's going to be my computer.
This is true. Your computer really, really is awful.
Do not talk about my computer like that. It is sensitive.
Robin really just needs a new one.
Shove it.
Because then it might break on you entirely?
Yes! Also, you know I'm cheap.
Robin's computer is currently hooked up to her TV because her screen's not working. Robin,
see, my computer didn't even want me to know what you were saying. It froze again.
I was just saying that your computer is currently hooked up to your TV because the screen's not working.
Yeah. If there was a way for me to show you guys my screen besides pulling up my phone, I would. Because...
And it's been like that for a few months.
That's just because I haven't called tech support yet.
All right, so we will let you guys go, and we'll see you guys when we finish Sight Witch, possibly before if we decide we need to do another random, like our race in the Witchlands thing.
How long is Sight Witch?
Not long.
Like 250?
I don't even think it's that many.
Oh, dude, that's this weekend.
230. No, that's the acknowledgement. Sorry. 233.
Yeah, no, that's this week.
And there's a lot of like pages taken up with stuff like this. Like it's. You see?
Oh, yeah. Oh, because isn't it supposed to be like diary pages in there too?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of it's diary entries. And then, hold on a second, let me see. Like the last page, I think you missed that because you were bending over. Looks like this. Robin, did we lose you again? We lost you again?
Yeah, you did. Moment of the last page.
All right.
We should end this.
Yeah,
3, 2, 1.
Too many technical difficulties. Bye, everybody.